The atmosphere inside the stadium was electric, a night that promised history, and by the end of it, the world had witnessed one of the most unforgettable finishes in modern baseball. The Los Angeles Dodgers, crowned champions after a season of ups and downs, etched their name once again into baseball immortality. The crowd roared like a living wave, echoing across the stands as Yoshinobu Yamamoto, the pitcher turned unexpected hero, crossed home plate to seal the victory. That single run didn't just clinch a championship, it became a moment of destiny that fans around the world will replay for generations. As the ninth inning began, tension filled every corner of the ballpark. The Dodgers had fought tooth and nail through a grueling series, with their opponents refusing to surrender easily. Every pitch, every swing carried the weight of the entire season. Yamamoto, who had dazzled throughout the postseason with his precision and calm under pressure, now found himself in a completely different role. He wasn't on the mound, he was in the batter's box, ready to take the chance no one expected him to have. Moments before the deciding play, the stadium lights felt brighter, almost blinding. The crowd fell into a tense silence, as if collectively holding its breath. Yamamoto stood at third base after a miraculous double that had sent shockwaves through both dugouts. The Dodgers bench was on its feet, shouting, clapping, urging him home. The opposing pitcher wound up, released a breaking ball, and the crack of the bat echoed like thunder. The ball shot into left field, shallow but perfect. Yamamoto sprinted toward home. As he ran, time seemed to slow. His stride was pure determination, his eyes fixed on the plate. The throw from left field came in like a missile. The catcher caught it cleanly, but Yamamoto slid, feet first, the dust rising in a cloud of gold under the bright lights. The umpire's hand shot out, safe, and the explosion of sound that followed shook the entire stadium. Teammates stormed the field, caps flying, gloves tossed into the air, and Yamamoto, smiling through exhaustion, disappeared beneath a mountain of blue uniforms. For Dodgers fans, this wasn't just another championship. It was redemption. After seasons of heartbreaks, injuries, and near misses, this was the culmination of resilience and belief. The crowd, still roaring minutes after the game ended, sang and waved banners as confetti rained down. The city of Los Angeles finally had another baseball miracle, and it came with an unexpected twist, their Japanese ace scoring the winning run. Yamamoto's journey to that moment was nothing short of cinematic. Having joined the Dodgers with immense expectations, he had endured the pressure of a massive contract and the constant comparison to legends before him. But through all of it, he remained composed, humble, and laser-focused. Every start in the postseason built up his legend, strikeout after strikeout, inning after inning, and now, this dramatic run added an entirely new chapter to his story. In the dugout, Mookie Betts could be seen wiping tears from his eyes, laughing in disbelief. "That's baseball," he later said in interviews, "you never know who the hero's gonna be." Freddie Freeman hugged Yamamoto tightly, shouting over the chaos, "You did it, brother. You did it." Even the coaching staff, usually stoic and composed, broke into smiles and embraces that showed just how much this win meant to everyone. On the field, fans could see Yamamoto holding the championship flag, his uniform covered in dirt, his expression one of pure joy mixed with relief. The scoreboard behind him told the story in simple numbers, but the emotions on the field were too vast for digits to capture. Cameras zoomed in on his face as he raised his hands to the sky, soaking in the moment. The chant began softly and then grew louder, "Yamamoto. Yamamoto," until the entire stadium was singing his name. The local broadcast captured every raw detail. The sweat on the players' faces, the sparkle in the eyes of fans who had waited years for this night, and the sight of families hugging in the stands. It wasn't just a win, it was a shared human experience, hope, passion, and triumph colliding in one unforgettable instant. Meanwhile, in Japan, it was early morning, but millions were awake, watching live. Social media exploded as fans flooded timelines with tears, emojis, and messages of pride. "Our Yamamoto did it," one message read, while another declared, "The world just saw the heart of Japan." The pride was mutual. Los Angeles had embraced him as one of their own, and now both nations celebrated together. Post-game interviews revealed the depth of emotion inside the clubhouse. Yamamoto, still clutching his championship medal, said through a translator, "I just ran. I didn't think. I just wanted to win for my team." His humility won over even those who had doubted him earlier in the season. Manager Dave Roberts couldn't hold back his grin, saying, "That's why we brought him here, not just for his pitching, but for his spirit." The parade that followed days later through downtown Los Angeles was a spectacle. Thousands lined the streets, waving blue flags, chanting players' names, and reliving that last play over and over. Yamamoto rode on one of the lead floats, waving to fans, occasionally holding up a baseball signed by his teammates. Children on their parents' shoulders shouted his name, and the city seemed to pulse with joy. Behind the glamour, there was a deeper message that resonated with baseball fans worldwide. It was about perseverance, how a player from another country could come to one of the biggest stages in sports, face the toughest competition, and still deliver in the most unexpected way. It was about unity, too, how sports could bridge cultures and ignite shared emotion across oceans. In the locker room celebration, champagne sprayed in every direction. The air was filled with laughter, cheers, and the sound of popping corks. Yamamoto, soaked and smiling, raised his bottle in the air. For the fans, he shouted, as teammates poured more champagne over his head. The golden trophy gleamed in the background, reflecting flashes from a dozen cameras. Analysts later called it one of the greatest endings in Dodgers history. Sports networks replayed the footage endlessly, the slide, the umpire's call, the eruption of the crowd. Commentators described it as a storybook finish, a Hollywood ending, fitting perfectly for a city known for cinematic drama. It was the kind of moment that reminded everyone why they loved baseball, its unpredictability, its poetry, its heart. Even rival teams tipped their caps. Players from around the league took to social media to congratulate the Dodgers and Yamamoto. "That's how you do it," one veteran tweeted. Respect to Yamamoto for giving everything. It wasn't just sportsmanship, it was admiration for a man who had turned pressure into art. As the night wore on, fans refused to leave the stadium. They lingered, taking photos, waving flags, and singing team chants. The giant video board replayed the final play again and again. Each time Yamamoto slid across the plate, the crowd erupted all over, as if reliving the euphoria from the start. Some fans cried openly, tears of joy, relief, and pure pride. When the lights finally dimmed and the players returned to the locker room, the field stood empty but sacred. Bits of confetti still floated in the cool night air, and the faint scent of champagne hung around the dugout. It was quiet now, but the echoes of the crowd still seemed to whisper through the stands, a reminder of the night when dreams became reality. In interviews the next morning, reporters asked Yamamoto what was going through his mind during that run. He smiled softly and said, "I saw the plate, and I thought, this is it, the moment I came here for." That honesty, that simplicity, struck a chord. For him, it wasn't about fame or pressure, it was about love for the game. Los Angeles woke up that next day buzzing with pride. Newspapers ran front-page headlines with words like, "Glory," "Champion," and "Yamamoto's Miracle." Cafes played highlights on TV screens, and everywhere people talked about the slide, how perfect, how fearless, how iconic it was. Even people who weren't baseball fans could feel the energy. As the team celebrated deep into the night, the image of Yamamoto scoring the final run became immortalized in photos and posters. That shot, of him sliding through dust, arms stretched out, the umpire's hand calling, "safe," instantly became part of Dodgers lore, alongside legends like Kirk Gibson's home run and Kershaw's pitching dominance. It was a new era, a new memory, a new legend. The story of that game wasn't just about baseball. It was about human spirit, the courage to face pressure, the joy of teamwork, the beauty of effort paying off in the grandest way possible. It reminded the world that sometimes, heroes emerge not just from the spotlight, but from moments when everything is on the line. And as night turned to dawn, and Los Angeles celebrated under a shower of fireworks, one thing became clear: this championship was not just won, it was earned, with every ounce of heart. The name, Yamamoto, would forever be etched in Dodgers history, not just as a great pitcher, but as the man who ran, slid, and scored the run that sealed glory.